Good morning, everybody. It's 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. I'm super excited to be here, and I want to talk to you about up-leveling your life and your business. So, good morning. Say hello when you join live. Just say hello, hello, hello. I'm drinking my raspberry tea, and you've got this cup, which is our HeartCore Business cup. I drink out of it Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday to motivate me. All right, you guys. Hi, Kim Cruz. Hi, Devorah. Hi, Wendy McKenna. How are you? Woo, woo. All right. Hey, guys on IG. How are you doing? Okay. So do me a favor. Go ahead and share this Facebook Live so we can get a few more people rocking and rolling this morning. And then let's talk about how to up-level your business and your life. So when you set a new goal for yourself, when you set, a desire to up-level, whether that's you want to make more money, whether that is a marriage goal, whether that is like you want to speak on larger stages or whatever that looks like, whatever the big jump is from where you are to where you want to go, what happens is all of a sudden you have to let a part of you die. I know that sounds really awful, but the quicker you understand this, the quicker you're going to find that your life and your business up-level to wherever you want it to be, right? Wherever you want it to be. So if there's somebody that needs to hear this, please share this on Facebook so that we can just really expand this message out, because people are struggling, and they're struggling and beating themselves up inside their mind, or even talking themselves out of great opportunities in their life because somehow they feel that either they don't have what it takes, or there's too much, challenges or obstacles in between you and where you want to get to. So here we are now. We're in this great, amazing place, and life is good. At least I hope that you're grateful for everything you have in your life at this point. But there's a goal out here, and this goal out there is filled with a bunch of things that require you to let go of parts of your personality. So for instance, somebody in my company said that they actually want to become a trainer. And I said to this person, first of all, this person is awesome, right? This person is super powerful at what they do. I have nothing but incredible things to say about them. They're super loyal, super on top of things. I just absolutely cannot say enough good things about them. But the minute this person told me they wanted to become a trainer, now all of a sudden it brings in a whole nother standard of what's possible. So immediately I shift into service mode, and I start saying, all right, well, here's some of the things that you need to change, shift, and move out of your ways of being, out of your habits, so that you can elevate to this level as a trainer. As a good person operating in a good standard, being, having a good life it's not the same ways of being as wanting to, let's say, be a trainer. If you want to be a trainer, you have to have much less breakdowns. You have to really hold your integrity of your word with yourself. Like if you say you're going to go to the gym, you need to go to the gym. If you say you're going to meet somebody for coffee or dinner, you need to be there early, not late. Like it changes the whole game. So the attitude of, oh, I got out the door late because I have a 2-year-old, or you know what, I was just so overwhelmed. There was so much on my plate. I had to change that deadline. Those things go away if this person wants to be a trainer. Like what regularly is acceptable as this person as a good employee or a good husband, a good wife, has to change in order for this person to go into trainer mode. So the reason why I share that story with you is because I know that you have definitely got, especially if you're on 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. If you're watching the replay, awesome. If you're on live, like holy F, right? It's early. I know people in the UK who are getting up really early to watch us on Coffee with Shanda. I often see people from Germany and Africa say hi to me. And so, we're all committed if we're showing up for 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda, whether it's the replay or live, because otherwise I would drive you crazy with how much I inspire you or empower you to play bigger, to think bigger, right? So now you need to really kind of strategically tweak your brain to listen to feedback, to listen to even your own breakdowns in a different light, right? So when you have a breakdown in the area of your life now, and it consistently happens, like you're late, or, you hold back when you know that you shouldn't hold back. You're, not keeping your word 100% with the commitments that you say that you're going to do. You're breaking agreements, contracts, whatever that looks like, right? Not paying off debt, whatever that looks like. When you're operating that standpoint, you could probably make up a lot of justifications on why you're in that spot. Now when you're going to make the jump, the ego, the enemy, the devil, whatever you want to call this voice, starts to really get at you with this conversation that you don't have what it takes, or that it might say that you're stupid. It might say that you're not good looking enough. It might say that you don't know how to speak well enough. You don't know how to do a webinar. Who are you to do a live stream or something like that, right? So what does it say? What does the enemy say in your head, right? Like, what's that gap? And it's like it gets a stronger foothold in your life when you have a bigger goal, because what happens is you're having to absolutely stop fighting for your limitations, right? If you're stubborn to go to the next level, you've got to give up being stubborn, right? If you're righteous about your limitations in your household and you need to focus on growing your business, you have to stop being righteous about the reason why you can't focus and create the results is because of your household or your husband or your wife or the fact that you've got a newborn. You've got to change all of your normal ways of being, let go of things, and re-strategize, right? So I never wanted to, I remember first hiring people to actually clean my house, and I was making no money because I needed the space to be able to work. And I didn't want my weekends to be my off time to be working on cleaning my house. It was making me resentful, right? Long-term resent causes a quitting cycle. And so if you want to change the quitting cycle, you got to look, where are these threads in the gap that are causing you to really, really break down your vision and where you want to go. If you want to be a great athlete, you're going to have to train like crazy. If you want to go to the Olympics, you're going to have to train like crazy. And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. You're not going to want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Right? When I started Coffee with Shanda, I didn't want to get up at 6 a.m. or 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't want to, but I wanted more connection with my audience. I wanted to help more people, right? I kept getting these dreams and these inspirations of delivering content, but I didn't have the space in my regular day to do it. And so the gap of who I wanted to be for my audience, who I wanted to be as a professional mentor and coach and business owner, there was a gap in between that. And it required me to get up at 5 a.m. to start doing 6 a.m. coffees with Shanda. So know that you're going to have to let something go. And I'm not saying you have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not saying that, because what do you want? Like, what do you want? Like, where's the gap? Right? So don't work 7 days a week, because if you work 7 days a week, you're going to get resentful, right? You're gonna break down your marriage. You're not gonna find the man or the woman of your dreams. You're gonna get fat. That shit happens in the space of poor strategy. So I know there's this employee mentality, which is, if I work harder, I'm gonna succeed as an entrepreneur. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. And you just got to know that. I mean, you got to trust me on this. I mean, this is a good thing to trust me on. It gives you a life back. And when your happiness level goes up and you rest or you recover, which, by the way, if you look at athletes, and entrepreneurs are very similar. Same with athletes, entrepreneurs, and artists. We're all very similar. We got to get in the zone. And we got to focus, right? And athletes got to get in the zone, entrepreneurs got to get in the zone, and artists has got to get in the zone. And then you need to get perspective to get better ideas. You need to step away from the painting and look at the painting and go, and just admire it and be in gratitude and then some more inspiration comes flooding in, and then you get back into the zone. It's the same thing with creating content, creating webinars, finding hooks. What's your new title? Who am I going to interview? How am I going to be a better mother? All of these things, you've got to have the space, because working under pressure works for some people short term, but it'll blow out the adrenal glands and have you in the hospital on an IV, right? Or it'll show up as blow-ups in your marriage, and then what happens is that depletes, and then where are you at that point? Or your relationship, or lack of relationship. So you've got to look at what needs to change in the gap, and I would highly suggest that you do this right when I stop the 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. When today's show ends, just stop, grab a piece of paper, and go, what needs to change in the gap, right? If you're an influencer, how are you showing up? It's not about perfection. It is about your best. But sometimes we justify our best, and sometimes our best actually isn't good enough. And that's the truth. Sometimes our best is not good enough. If you want to lead a team of people who work for you, either now, someday, or grow the team you're working with now. You might have a virtual assistant right now, or maybe you need one, or maybe you've got 2 or 3 people that work for you. If you want people to show up and do better work than you would ever do in that area, then you have to learn how to empower vision. And then you have to learn how to communicate better, right? So if you're so busy that you can't stop and figure out, how do I think through communicating this better? How do I get more clear? Maybe I cut, even today, I'm hoping I'm not digressing, you're following me here. I'm sending a breakdown for a new workshop to a team leader inside my company, and I drew it all out on a board yesterday. I've been thinking about it. I'm not kidding you. I have been thinking about this for at least 45 days, almost every day. Just sitting, thinking about, what do I want it to look like? What would be the end results? And it started about 5 months ago that I came up with the vision of it. And then what's in it, it's been the last 45 days that I've been thinking about it. And it's been in my priority list of thinking about it. Yesterday, I wrote it all out on a flow chart, everything else. And today I'm doing a video on that flow chart to hand to a leader so that they can see what I did with a full video, and then I send that over with notes on an email. Okay, my point in sharing that with you is, if I didn't create space, I wouldn't be a great leader for my team to support the vision and help push the vision out there into the world to help more people. So what are you trying to accomplish right now? Yeah, the way that you can really figure that out is, what's driving you crazy, right? What in your life is driving you crazy that needs to be eliminated in the gap between where you're at now and where you want to go, and stop being freaking righteous about it has to be there. You know what I mean? You're just going to put yourself in last place in your life, and then you're going to put yourself out of the race completely of whatever goal or dream you want, because you're going to quit. If you keep justifying or making the limitations in your gap right now real, they're not real. Somebody else has absolutely solved your problem. Stop pretending that your problem is so special, or that your life or your limitations are so real. Stop. Seriously. People in your life have probably learned to keep their mouths shut around you, because the fact that you defend them with such certainty that you've enrolled all of them in a limiting belief. Stop it. You're not an idiot. There's nothing wrong with you, and you can solve this problem. There's going to be things that have to change in your life every time you go to the next goal. Every time you grow a bigger life, every time you grow a bigger business, you have to be willing to let go of the things that start tugging at you, that are out of alignment with what you want, which means it's not about them, it's actually about you. So if you need to leave your house to get focused and go work at a coffee shop for the next 6 months of running your business, effing do it. Stop complaining about it. If you've got to work a full-time job as you grow a business, for God's sake, stop complaining about it. Figure out a new strategy. Maybe you don't grow as fast. Maybe you just think about getting to the next point, and you take the pressure off yourself and you think, shit, you've been in this situation for so long, keep the job, build the business, and have an end date of when you quit the job, but stop complaining about it. Maybe you have a new baby in your life that you're totally sleep deprived. I get it. My son's about to turn 3. It was only 3 years ago that I thought somehow I could get away with help for 2 hours a day and run a multi-7-figure company, which is not the case at all, and breastfeed every 90 minutes, right? And so I get it. I definitely underestimated that, right? And so I had to change my pace on how I grew that year. I had to allow some things in my business to bleed. Maybe some areas that I wanted to be better in or stronger in or give more attention to, but it just wasn't going to happen that year because I was breastfeeding, right? And I underestimated it. Maybe I didn't want to pay for a nanny for more hours because that felt like a huge expense to me. Here's the crazy thing about limiting beliefs. Even though I had the money, it still felt like something I didn't want to do, something that felt like almost like I couldn't do it. And hiring a nanny full-time to be with me and my son all day long, right, while I worked. So my point is that the limitations are strong. I don't discredit that. I'm saying you got to be stronger than the thoughts. You got to be stronger than justifying the limitations in your space. Otherwise, seriously, save yourself the struggle and just quit now. If you're going to be so stubborn and righteous about the realness of your limitations, and you're not going to even allow your mind to open up to the thought that somebody else has solved your problem so you can too, right? If you can't even open up and allow that thought in, then seriously, it might be time for some psychology. Because the truth is that somebody has solved your problem. And I'm here being a knock on your internal door saying, stop getting love by complaining about your circumstances. Stop getting attention like a 2-year-old will do. If their parents do not pay attention to them, they'll act out. Stop being that as an adult when it comes down to your limitations. You have to let some things go. And the things that you need to let go are the things that are not serving your life right now. And I know that often it will feel like, well, if I work a full-time job and I grow a business, it's the job that needs to go. Great. But maybe it's the complaining that needs to go right now. And maybe you need to let go of the thought that you're going to pace or compare yourself against somebody who doesn't have a full-time job in whatever mastermind that you're studying in right now. Stop comparing yourself against people who have a different playing field than you. Run your own race. Run your own race. I talk about this all the time. There's a video that I love that literally in the video it talks about all these negative beliefs and thoughts that are going on. And it's not anybody else. It's actually you, right? Or I would actually say it's actually the enemy inside your head, right? It's the devil. It's, it's darkness. It's like all of that shit is not you, right? And so you've got to cast that out by fighting it. Otherwise, what is the rest of your life going to look like? I mean, how many goals, how many amazing relationships have you passed up because you've been stubborn? Right? Or how many years have you lived without an overflow of money because you've been overwhelmed and can't handle pressure, right? Like how much longer are you going to allow those thoughts or those limitations to absolutely steal your life? I mean, if I hear one more person complain about working in their business, I'm going to scream. I'm like, get more help. And don't tell me you can't afford it because nobody can. I can't afford any of the shit I'm putting in my business right now. But because you do it, it actually grows the more money comes in, right? Money loves stability. Money loves confidence. But confidence doesn't grow until you're good at it. So stop getting upset that you don't have the confidence in something new that you're building yet, because neither do I. I don't have the confidence in the call center I'm growing right now. I don't have the confidence in this new level of training that I'm actually bringing in. I don't have confidence in any of that because I've never done it before. There's all these uncertainties and insecurities. I live with insecurities too, and you do too. I just don't fight for them. I don't hang out with them. I just give myself enough grace to know that I'm passing the next gap to the next goal. So I just encourage you to encourage people around you to be easier on themselves, to encourage people around you to notice what they need to let go of and not fight for these limitations. In the process of you looking up and helping people around you, and I'm not saying just your clients, I'm saying the people in your life, then what you're going to find is that you're going to start changing as well. So take a moment today, take a moment right now as we're going to end this segment of 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda, and please take a look at what do you need to stop fighting for and make a rule in your life. A rule means it doesn't get broken. My son goes to school at 8 o'clock in the morning. That rule does not get broken. I pick him up at 3 p.m. That rule does not get broken, right? And so a rule does not get broken. So what do you need to create a rule around in your life so that you can grow through the gap to the next vision of whoever you're trying to be next? All right, you guys, I'll talk to you soon. God bless. Have a great day, and hopefully this was useful. Thanks.